Hello everyone. In the previous video, I told you about the face detection and I explained that face detection in the PictoBlocks and I also showed the code in the video itself. Now in this video, I'm going to tell you about the object detection. How you can detect the objects that are given in a certain picture. For example, in the previous video, you were giving the face as an input on the state screen. In this, we are going to give a picture which is going to have the picture of various cars, trucks, person, etc. And we are going to identify those objects using the object detection algorithm. Now, before moving on to the object detection, I would like to tell you about computer vision. And before that, also I would like to tell you about how does human vision works. How does a human vision works? So human vision works on these four steps. The first one is going to be the capture. How we see humans capture images using their eyes and the images formed on the retina that you must have read in your science. Now, after the image is formed on the retina, now the second step we do is to identify the object and their features. The raw image that is transferred to the brain by our optical nerves, we have to identify those objects. So the brain starts to identify different objects. For example, you can easily identify candle, human chair, and many other things. Now the third step is going to be information. You are going to extract information. In this step, our brain compares the features of the objects to its past knowledge, whatever we have gathered, so on. For example, even when a small baby is born, he does not know about any of the objects. But depending upon the observation and the environment, he learns many things and then he is able to identify what a chair is, what a person, what a car, truck, vehicle, bicycle is, right? So we learn based on the information we extract from our environment. Now, the last step is going to be act. Now, depending upon the higher level information we have got, we have to act. For example, if you can identify that a ball is coming to your face, then you can move aside to avoid hitting the ball, right? So, this is how human vision works. Now, what is a computer vision? How a computer vision is going to work? First of all, let me tell you what is a computer vision. Basically, it deals with how computers can be made to gain high level sorry to gain high level understanding from digital images or videos. We are just going to give a digital image or a video and the computer has to deal with it. Now from the perspective of engineering, it seeks to automate the task that the human vision can do. Basically, it also has four different steps. First one, it is going to acquire the picture, then process and detect the objects there, then analyze and recognize the object, and then based on that, it has to act. For example, the self-driving car, it also work on these four principles. First, it is going to acquire self-driving car. What they do, they have sensors, they use cameras to acquire the images, they acquire and process images at a very high rate. Now the next step is going to be process. After acquiring the image, they are going to process. So they start to identify all the objects in the image. First, they are going to capture all the images from cameras and then detect objects in those images. For example, person or any vehicle that is there, it is going to identify those different objects. After capturing and detecting the objects, it is going to analyze those objects. Now the computer is then going to classify each object into different categories. For example, if you can see a person standing on a road, so the algorithm is going to classify that person either a male or female depending upon that. Now the last step is going to be act. Now based on the information that the computer has gained or the car has gained from the cameras, it is going to stop. If the image of a person has been captured who is walking, then that means the car has to stop and let the other person cross the road. So this is what a computer vision is, and this is how we are even going to detect the object. So basically what a object detection is going to be, for example, just look in this picture. This has various objects. So this object detection algorithm is going to locate and identify objects in digital photographs. For example, if I'm going to provide this as an input, then my algorithm, my code has to identify all the different objects that are over here, right? First of all, it is going to locate the object, then classify that object, and then it will show you the output. Now let's move on to the code. Now, just like the previous picture, we have did the face detection in PictoBlocks. We are going to do this object detection code also in PictoBlocks. Now over here, we have in the previous video, we have added face detection module. Now, how you are going to add this object detection module? I told you whichever module you want to use, you have to add that module. So you just have to click on this add extension on the bottom left corner. Just wait a second. As and when you will click, you will get this second one, the object detection. As we have to identify the objects in a particular figure, so we need this algorithm. So you just have to click on this object detection, and as and when you will click, this is how your interface is going to appear. This means you have to just wait for the picture to, for the module to load. Now, after the module is going to be loaded, you can start with the code. Now let's come back to the code. Yeah. Now see, I have supplied this as an input on the stage. This picture, it has 3 objects, 2 person and 1 truck. And my code is going to identify all of these 3 objects separately. Now see how you are going to add a picture over here. You just have to click on this choose a sprite option, and over here you will get the option of upload. So you just have to click on the upload, and any picture which you want to add, you can just select that, and that is going to be added on your stage screen. Now, after that, just look on the code. This is the code I have used for object detection. The first one is going to remain when flag is clicked, so that all the objects which are there, all the sprites which are there on your stage screen, they start working together. Now, after that, we have to analyze image from stage. You will get this block under the module object detection. Just check over here. Over here, analyze image from here. Camera is written. You can just change the value to stage, because we are providing the picture on the stage from where objects needs to be detected. So first of all thing, we are going to provide the input, that is going to be the image with different objects. Then the block you are going to is going to be analyze image from the stage. Whatever image you have provided on the stage, that just analyze that. And the next one is going to be hide bounding box. Now see, in the previous picture also, when my face was getting detected, my face appeared in a purple box. Over here also, let me just change this height to show, and you will find this bounding box over here in the object detection module in the settings, right? So let me just run it. Now just see, there are various boxes coming over there. That means each and every object which the code is identifying, it is putting that object under a box. Now, I don't want that box to appear because it is not appearing very clear. So that is why instead of the show, I choose to hide those boxes. So now when I'll run this code, the boxes are going to be hidden, and each and every object which the code will identify, it is going to show that code only. Okay, so this is the picture. Now I have created one variable. Now what is a variable? A variable is a container which stores something, right? You can store various things in a container. If you have done other programming languages, then you must know what a variable is. For example, if you want to, in maths also, you must have heard about variables. You can store certain value in that variable. So basically what we are doing in this picture, we are trying to identify the objects, right? We are trying to identify, there are 3 objects over here, 1 truck and 2 person. So what I have to do, I have to identify these objects. So now I'm going to create a variable that I will call as object. So, and in that object, I'm going to keep the count of the number of objects that my code is going to identify. Now, how you will create the variable? You just have to click on this variable. Now, after that, just click on make a variable. After you will click on make a variable, this dialog box will appear and you can name your variable. For example, I have named it as object and then click on OK. this variable is going to be created and it is going to be stored over here. You can see this object which I created just now, right? So this is how you will create a variable and use it. Variables are used to store certain value. For example, at the start of the program, I don't know how many objects are there in my picture. That is why I set objects to 0. Now where you will find this set object? Over here. In this variables module only, in this block palette, you will see the block set my variable. So just drag this, and when you will click on this my variable, you will get all the variables that you have created. Now I wanted to use this object which in which I have stored the value 0. That is why I added that. So you can use this block to set the value of the variable to 0. Now, after setting the value to 0, you have to repeat certain number of steps. That is, get the number of objects. Now, whatever number of objects are going to be stored in this object, get those objects and show them, identify them, and show the output on the state screen. Now, basically, you must have also seen, let me again change this to show. Now, see the size of this box, which is identifying the different objects is different. Why it is different? It is different because the width, length, and size of each and every object is different. That is why for adjusting this length of the box, I have used over here set x2 and set y2. X and y are the coordinates. I am going to set those positions according to the size of the object. Let me just drag it over here again. Okay, so just these blocks are used to set the size of the box according to the size of your object that is there given in a picture. Right now, the last one, say class of object. Now, see, whenever I am running, it is identifying the object and showing it over here. It is a person or a truck or the other person. So how it is doing? It is using this block to say this has a class. Now, this class has certain number of positions. Sorry, certain things. For example, your this object can be classified into various classes. For example, it can be a truck, car, vehicle, person, anything. So that is how you are going to classify these objects. All right. So this is how you will be doing object detection in PictoBlocks. I'll just show you the output once again. Yeah, so this is the output. It is identifying, and in the bubble above, it is showing you the output that it has detected this as a person, this as a truck, and this as another person. Now, this is your choice. If you want to hide the box or you don't want to hide it, this is depends upon your choice. You can either use show or hide. So this is how you will be doing object detection. All right. Thank you, guys.